You come back from a vacation, you sit down at your desk, you open your laptop, and your mind is completely, perfectly blank. You cannot remember what you were working on before you left. Not the project, not the deadline, not even the email that felt like a 5-alarm fire 10 days ago. For 1 second, you almost panic. Did the sun melt your competence? Then you notice something strange. That blank doesn't feel like a failure, it feels amazing. Because that blank space is not a memory problem. That is what your brain feels like after it has finished repairing itself. And here is the part nobody tells you. You were built to feel this way every single week, yet you're lucky to feel it a few times a year. To understand what's going wrong, start with a night you know too well. It's Sunday, 9 p.m., you have just had 2 entire days off. Be honest about how you actually feel right now, not rested, not recharged. If anything, you feel worse than you did on Friday afternoon. That creeping dread has a nickname, the Sunday scaries. It feels like a personal flaw, like you're simply bad at relaxing. It isn't, it's biology. Here's what has been happening inside you all week. For 5 straight days, your body has been running on cortisol, your main stress hormone. Cortisol sharpens your focus, spikes your energy, and keeps you hitting deadline after deadline. But your stress system was never designed to run for 5 days straight. It evolved in your ancestors for short, violent bursts. A predator appears, stress hormones flood your blood, you run, and when the danger passes, the whole system powers back down. Modern work never sends the signal that the danger has passed. The emails keep coming, the deadlines keep stacking, and your internal alarm stays switched on. Day after day, your baseline stress quietly ratchets upward. And a system that has been dialed up for 5 days does not reset the moment you shut your laptop on Friday. It winds down slowly and reluctantly, like a machine that is still hot to the touch. So how much time does a real reset actually take? Psychologists decided to measure exactly that. Carmen Binuiz, Sabine Sonnentag, and Eva Modza followed 133 employees across 4 full workweeks, tracking what they did on their weekends and how they performed when Monday came around. Their discovery changed how scientists think about rest. A strong Monday was not predicted by how many hours people had off. It was predicted by whether they came back mentally recovered, and Sonnentag's research points to one lever above all: psychological detachment. That's a technical term for your brain completely cutting the cord with work. No work thoughts, no planning, no quiet background worrying. And here is the uncomfortable part. On a normal 2-day weekend, most people never truly detach at all. Look at your actual Saturday. You wake up exhausted, drag yourself through errands, collapse on the couch, and scroll until your thumb aches. Your body is resting, but your brain is still idling in work mode, humming like a fridge in another room. Then Sunday arrives, and by late afternoon Monday's shadow falls over everything. You start mentally drafting emails you haven't even opened. You rehearse conversations that haven't happened yet. You are working for free in your own living room. So call your weekend what it really is: 1 day of physical collapse, 1 day of slow building dread, actual days of detachment, 0. Now think back to that vacation, because something completely different happened there. On day 1, work thoughts still chased you. On day 2, they got quieter, and somewhere around day 3, they simply vanished. Why day 3? What is so special about 72 hours? Think of your brain like a computer. During the work week, everything you're juggling lives in your working memory, like open files and browser tabs, all of them eating processing power at the same time. A 48-hour weekend is too short to close those tabs. So on Monday morning, you boot back up, and everything is still sitting exactly where you left it. The stress, the deadlines, that one exhausting email thread, all loaded, all waiting, like you never left it all. But give your brain around 3 days of real quiet, and something shifts. It finally has enough time to do its filing, to pack up the week's open tabs and move them into long-term storage. The files are not deleted. You can pull any of them back the moment you actually need them. They have simply stopped burning your mental bandwidth, and that blank feeling at your desk is your working memory, finally clear. Does that sound too convenient? Then look at what happened when scientists tried to compress recovery inside a sleep lab. A research team at Penn State College of Medicine took 30 healthy adults and restricted their sleep for 6 nights in a row, a near-perfect simulation of a standard workweek. Then they handed them the best weekend imaginable, 2 full nights of unrestricted recovery sleep. Those 2 nights fixed the sleepiness. The participants stopped nodding off during the day, and on that measure they looked fully recovered. But their scores on attention tests never returned to baseline, a finding published in the American Journal of Physiology. Sit with that for a second. 2 nights of perfect sleep could not restore something as basic as paying attention. So what chance does an ordinary weekend have against a full week of accumulated stress, decisions, and emotional wear? Almost none. Which brings up the obvious objection: you cannot take a 3-day weekend every week. Almost nobody can. But remember what the research actually found: recovery isn't about the hours, it's about the detachment. And that means you can fake the 3rd day. Step 1, draw a hard line on Friday night. Don't just slump onto the couch in your work clothes and scroll for 3 hours, because that keeps the work version of you quietly running in the background. Take a shower, change into clothes you would never wear to the office, cook something real, put on music that has nothing to do with your commute. That ritual is not decoration. Your brain leans on physical cues to decide which version of you should be running. Change the sensory channel, and you tell it in a language older than words. The work self is now offline. Step 2, archive your work thoughts on Saturday. When a work thought barges in, and it will, don't fight it and don't follow it either. Write it down in a notebook, close the cover, and tell it, "Noted, you are Monday's problem." That little move matters more than it looks. An unfinished task keeps looping in your head precisely because your brain is terrified of dropping it. Give the loop a safe place to live on paper, and the looping stops. Step 3, override Sunday afternoon. Late Sunday afternoon is when the dread hits hardest, so don't leave that slot empty for anxiety to fill. Schedule something you genuinely enjoy right there: a long walk, a favorite film, a complicated meal that demands your full concentration. You are not distracting yourself. You are overriding the anxiety with pleasure in the exact time slot where it usually wins. Step 4, build a Monday morning buffer. No inbox on Sunday night, none, not even a quick peek. And when you get to work on Monday, don't open your email first thing either. Make the coffee, tidy the desk, take 5 slow breaths, and only then let the week in. That 1 protected hour is your 3rd day's last outpost. It stretches the vacation amnesia feeling just a little further into the week, and it costs you absolutely nothing. Now zoom back out to that first morning at your desk, staring into a beautifully blank mind. That blank was never a glitch. It was a status report from your own brain, repairs complete, ready to run. You should not have to wait until your summer holiday to feel that. Your brain is built to earn that feeling every single week, but it will not happen by accident. You have to protect your recovery like it matters, because it does. So this week, run the experiment. Pick 1 day and just exist, no work thoughts, no planning, no inbox. Then pay close attention to how Tuesday morning feels. And the next time you come home from a trip and realize you've completely forgotten what you were working on, don't panic, and don't rush to reload it all. Sit in that blankness for a moment, because that was never what forgetting feels like. That is what a healed brain feels like, and it was never meant to be a souvenir you only bring home a few times a year. If this hit home, drop a comment below. When was the last time you completely forgot about work? And if you want more science-backed ways to actually recover, hit subscribe, because that vacation feeling should be waiting for you at the end of every single week.